are protesting? What is the reason that the Nigerian people are protesting? These protests, of course, have been inspired by what is happening across the African continent. Now, we want to look at also to what extent are these protests being inspired from outside. There is a lot of other Nigerians who have come in to support the protests, but also there's other people who have come in to stand against these protests. And we will look at the detailed grievances that the Nigerian people are putting up. Why are they protesting in this country? Okay, to start with, the Nigerian people are protesting for 10 days. They mentioned the 10 days that they are going to protest for 10 days due to particular reasons. They are going to protest for 10 days due to particular reasons and grievances which they have towards the ruling government. Okay. And these protests, of course, they are inspired by what is happening in Kenya. We know what is happening in Kenya, that the president was forced to throw down all the cabinet, and also for him just recently to appoint and reappoint the members of the cabinet. Now, the people in Kenya were able to go into the parliament. Okay, they were able to jump all the way to the parliament, and these are some of the inspirations, and also, of course, what happened in Uganda. Now, the Nigerian people have gotten some support, especially across the African continent, but even within internally, the Nigerian state itself. A lot of prominent Nigerians have come out to support these protests. People like Peter Obi, the previous presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and also Atiku, who was also a runner to the presidency. Who was the second runner, the first runner-up to the presidency, also participated in, supporting the protests. And the protests are going on across all Nigeria, including in Lagos. Many people have closed their shop. Actually, a lot of other people closed their shops, since yesterday because of fear of what is happening. Now, what is happening in the country is that people are really not happy about the governance of the country by President Tinubu and his group of people. When it comes to the delivery of services, people are suffering. The cost, the cost of living has really gone high. As you know, fuel subsidies were removed in Nigeria. These are some of the reasons which the people have given for, starting these protests. And also they said that after 10 days, if Tinubu does not act on their grievances, they are going to escalate these protests. They will escalate these protests, further, maybe to become violent. But for now, they have said that they want these protests to be peaceful. And that is what they have done. Actually, we have some of the news which is coming up to show us what is happening within Nigeria itself and the various people who have supported these protests, in the country. Let me see here what we have of the people who have supported the protests. Yes, we have a group of people who have supported the protests. At the same time, we have, Femi Falana, who's, a human rights activist in Nigeria. And this man, if you check him out on particular medias, on YouTube platforms, he has been speaking out loudly about the bad governance, within Nigeria. And if you check his name, you will be able to see him. We can see Peter Obi, who I spoke about here. He also came out to support the protests. You can see Aisha Yosefu. During the SARS movement, Aisha Yosefu was instrumental also in the protests that happened during that period, actually to the extent that she was almost the face of the process, which happened with the End SARS movement, which happened in 2020 in Nigeria. We can see Atiku Abubakar, also, who is a former Nigeria vice president, and also he was, a presidential run-up during the just ended elections. So the reasons, Tinubu is giving is that he should be given a time. Tinubu is claiming that he should be given time to deliver for the people, and they have discouraged, the protests, of course, ever since they were announced. And who are those people who are discouraging the protests? If we look at it, I'll try to give you a few screenshots of what is going on in Nigeria. But the usual suspects who are discouraging the protests are those, in power. Those in power, we know the people who are in power already. We know that there is people who are in power. They are the ones who are discouraging what, what is happening with the protest. What is happening with the protests? So those in power, they have interest in stopping the protests from happening within, the country, because for them they are feeding already, they are satisfied already, they are in good condition. So they have been discouraging the protests. Now, on the other hand, also, of course, we have the government itself. It has the tactics which it has been using to divide the people, whereby a group of young people who are, they claim the young people, of course, who are on the side of government, have been coming up, and they have been saying that they are not going to participate in these protests. But the majority of Nigerians, of course, who are not feeling well about what is going on in the country, for them, they are moving ahead with the protests without stopping. And so far, what is going on in Nigeria is that uh, the protesters have said that they will do peaceful protests. As you are seeing, the police has been brought out. They said they will do peaceful protests, but if if the military and the police attacks them, then that is when the protests will start becoming, violent. And also, if the government does not respond to their demands, and then the protests, of course, will become further violent. After 10 days, they think that the Nigerian government should be able to come out to, to respond to their demands because of the increased cost of living. As you are seeing, you can see the police all over. Even the people are coming out more on the streets to demonstrate in all over Lagos and all over Abuja. Everywhere, people are coming out to do the protest. Now, if you look at it, the government has not really performed very well, as you know. The uh, the As you know, the subsidies were removed in Nigeria, the fuel subsidies, which actually caution the poor people. And of course, the excuse within Nigeria was that the rich are taking advantage of the subsidies. That was the claim, that the rich are taking advantage of these subsidies. Therefore, they will remove all the subsidies. And of course, this, does not make sense. If you are looking at it seriously, this really does not make sense. You could say that, why isn't the government, tracking the rich who are taking advantage of these subsidies? Because you have this data with the government, that the government has been collecting this data through the national identification process. So I think that you could use this information to track those ones who are misusing the subsidies, but not to remove them from the poor. Because once you remove the fuel, then everything is going to go high, whether you're talking about food, because food, you use fuel to transport all the food from wherever it is to bring it to the market. So it becomes a problem. Okay, so it pushes the cost of living high within the country. And of course, there is also the devaluation of the currency. You remember what triggered the people in Kenya? It was the devaluation of the currency because of the bill which was passed in parliament, and that bill was going to devalue the currency. And of course, it was from the IMF and World Bank. They were the ones who are giving these conditions that they should devalue the currency. Okay, and this is what happened in Nigeria also, that the country devalued their currency, and the currency is in free fall. And when the currency is devalued, of course, it is the poor people who feel the biggest pain goes to the poor people, and that is what is happening right now. Last month, Nigeria's currency was devalued, which is very unfortunate. And one of the things also which the protesters spoke about is the fact that all the resources in Nigeria have been mortgaged. Okay, all the resources in Nigeria have been mortgaged, and we are talking about the oil. Of course, they pointed out specifically the oil, that the oil has been mortgaged up to foreigners. Okay, and they spoke about also the Dangote refinery. The fact that the crude which should have been given to the Dangote refinery for them to get, for the people to get cheaper fuel, okay, has been mortgaged off. So that is why the Dangote refinery is not able to get the crude to refine, and the people will get cheaper fuel. So these are some of the grievances which the people have presented. But I want you to tell me what you think about these demonstrations that are going on across the continent, in Kenya, recently happened in Uganda, and right now in Nigeria. And of course, we know that the middle class is discouraging them, the rich in the country and those ones in government are discouraging these protests. What do you think about these protests? Put that in the comment section, down in the comment section. What do you think about these protests? Will we be able to achieve the objectives of these protests? And of course, other protests also, planned even in Ghana. So if they come on in Ghana, will we be able to achieve what we want to see on the African continent? Will we see a better, African continent when it comes, to service delivery? And will these protests really deliver what we are hoping to see from the African continent for a better continent? Will we be able to achieve that through these protests? And what do we need to do? Of course, you need to put that in the comment section so that we can continue to discuss on it. But in all, we'll continue to come back to discuss these big topics on an extended level. As you know, we always come to give our analysis, extended analysis, with my sister Mahlet on Connect Africa here. I appreciate you, everyone who has been part of this. And God bless you, everyone and everywhere where you are across the world, whether you are in the Caribbean, whether you are on the African continent, in Europe, in Asia, everywhere where you are. Thank you for being part of Connect Africa. See you next time.